To learn price action, you will have to start with candlesticks, and you'll get this long list of different patterns that you'll have to memorize to make it work. But that's not how price action actually works. You need to understand the basis of price ka story. And today, that's exactly what we'll do. We've divided this video into 3 parts. First, I'm going to explain what a candlestick chart is, what a candle looks like. Second, we will move to the story behind a candle and the movement of price. We will not talk about specific candlestick patterns because it doesn't matter. And third is the best part. I'm going to give you a task that you have to actually perform in the comments below. And if it's correct, we will let you know in the comments. So this is going to be an interactive video. Also, do a 4,000 likes. I need 4,000 likes to make a part 2 of this. And hit that subscribe button because we're doing a lot of mehnat, as you can see here. So the first step, candlesticks. In technical analysis, everything you learn is a derivative of price. So if you're looking at an indicator, it's getting its information from price. So why not go straight into just price and ignore everything else? That's why we call it price action. And it's not that market has gone up or market's gone down. It actually tells a story. So before we do that, I just want to explain one simple thing. If Tata Steel closes at 100 rupees today, we know that the price was 100. The next day, the market will open, go up, go down, and then the market will close again at 330. But this time, Tata Steel closed at 110. And then the market the next day, for some reason, closes at 90. This. So we know that market closed at a new high, then a new low. This is called a line chart. Notice that we are just plotting the close of the day every day, and we get this line. So whenever you see a line chart like this, it's plotting a single point of that day. But do you think this has all the information? Think about it, right? This is just a single day. During that day, there was a high, there was a low, there was also an open point. When the market opened at 9:15, the first price of the day, the first traded price. So that information is missing in a line chart. So to fix this, we have a candlestick chart, which encapsulates all these 4 pieces of information, which cover everything about price. So let's start with 1st August, which was say 100, the day that it was 100. Let's break down what that day probably looked like. So the market opened at a certain point, went up during the day. There was a low and there was a high. Now, if you notice over here, we have an open. We have this close over here, which is 100. We have an open, which let's say was 98. We have a low, which was say 90, let's say 6. We have a high, which is 101. Now notice, we only plotted that 100 ka close price over here on the line chart, but in the candlestick chart, we encapsulated everything. Now the opposite can also be true, right? So let's say the next day on this 110 day, which is 2nd August, let's suppose it's this day. On this day, something else happened. The market closed at 110. So let's see how that looks like. The market closed at 110. But the opening was slightly higher. Let's say it opened at 115. It made a high of 120 and a low of 105. In this case, the market actually fell. So the market opened at 115, there was a high of 120, went all the way down to 105 and closed at 110. Point is very simple. If it's a green candle, the open is niche and the close is up. Why? Because the market went up, so it's green. If the market falls down from open to close, it's the opposite. It is a red candle. Now we'll understand the significance of bullish candlesticks and bearish candlesticks. But candlesticks aren't enough. It's a small piece of the entire trading system. And if you want to learn a trading system for free and have the dedication, we run a session called Prime every single weekend, every Saturday, every Sunday. But the secret is, not everyone gets in. Fill up this form. We accept only a few percentage people into the program, and we teach you right from basics all the way up to building an actual system which is backtested. We're not giving a system away. We are trying to solve something very simple. We think sitting with a mentor, sitting with a teaching assistant, getting feedback, and learning basics of technical analysis and system trading is what India needs. And it can't happen with just a video. It has to happen with an actual person who's giving you personalized feedback. So we're trying to make zero to intermediate education free in trading, investing, and personal finance. So if you ever are really interested to do that, apply in the section below in the description and we'll move forward. Anyway, let's move forward to price action. Now comes the fun part. How do we understand the story behind candlesticks, the price action? So remember, whatever you see in the market is a fight between bulls and bears. People who think the market will go up and people who think the market will go down, at least in the short term. And we can see that story in candlesticks. So the first simplest candlestick, so I'll start with bullish ones. The first candlestick is this nice green candle. Notice very simply the market opened, it went down a little bit, went up a lot, and then closed right here. That means during the day, the bulls were in control. But what do you think is the most bullish thing that's possible? Actually, if this wick wasn't there, that would be a really bullish candle, wouldn't it? As soon as the market opened, it went up and then closed at its highest point without a wick. So let me draw that. So over here, we have this bar. There is barely any wick because at no point was there any selling pressure. So over here, as soon as the market opened, went straight up, 330, even the last tick was the highest of the day, which means at no point was a bear able to overpower the bull. This is interesting for two reasons. One, you know for sure the bull was in control, and two, there was no selling pressure, which tells us that this is a far better day for bulls than this. You know what's another interesting day? And I love this candlestick pattern, but I'm not going to tell you names. Just look at the story, right? It's actually this. The market opened right here, and then there was chaos, as they say, bloodbath. Market fell all the way down because bears were selling, bulls tried to buy but kuch hua nahi, and they just fell. But for some reason, on this day, despite so much of heavy selling, the opposite happened. They just started buying and overpowered the bears, which meant that the quantity would have been 4x, 5x of what was happening, pushed the market up, went beyond the open and closed at the highest point. Now you tell me, in this story, who was really winning at the end? It was the bulls, right? They completely overpowered. So I like this story better because the bears tried to push the price down by selling, but it didn't work because there were too many bulls pushing the price up. Now let me show you something that actually doesn't signify a lot. This is interesting, isn't it? This is the market went up, came down, went all the way down, went back up. Who do you think won in this? Nobody. This is a confusing candle. It means neither of them won. It means nothing happened. So on your ticker, it will actually show that it was a gain day because it's a green bar, but actually means neither side won. And it shows and denotes confusion. Now the same thing is true for bearish as well. And I won't waste too much time here. If I draw all of these, the same thing I draw. You can see in all of these scenarios as well, color of the candle doesn't matter. Here the market opened, went all the way down and closed at its lowest point. This is a really bearish candle. Over here, there was some buying pressure, but in the end it closed down. Over here, the market rallied up, amazing run up, and then it went all the way down and created a new low and closed at its lowest point. This is really bearish. And over here, just like this is confusion. Now the beauty isn't at looking at just a single candlestick pattern. The beauty is putting these candles together in a sequence and understanding that story in stocks. So let's look at a bunch of real trades and understand what's the story behind them. If you look at this stock over here, you'll see that the market was falling. And look how much the first candle fell. We can see over here it was really, really bearish. After that, we have a small, again, bearish candle, and this means that the selling actually continued. But something interesting happened after that. After all of this selling, the next day, the green bar, although this looks very small, completely engulfed the previous bar. So notice two things here. One, the momentum on the fall fell with the second bar because it was a smaller bar. Then notice the third bar actually engulfed or completely negated all of that selling and gained a little bit more. Notice the open and close is sort of engulfing the previous bar. This means that somehow the bulls are getting into control. It could also mean that there is no more supply. जो भी selling होना था, हो चुका है. And that selling is over. And it's likely that the market might move upwards. Now, this doesn't mean that you buy the stock, but it's interesting of how the story is playing. And you can notice that the next bar actually moves up. This is an engulfing pattern. The word engulfing doesn't matter. The story does. Now, I'm not going to do all the work. You have to do this as well. So here is a chart. Don't even pause the video. Open comments right now. Yes, right now. And tell me the story. This is candle number 1. Type 1 and then type a story. Then this candle number 2. Type that story. Candle number 3 is the most important. Type something out there. And then candle number 4, I think I know what you're going to say. I'm going to run this timer for 5 seconds. Do it now. Cool. I hope you were able to post this and we will see you in the comment section. But once you actually do this, only then you'll understand. Hopefully this was useful. Let's move on. So now the biggest mistake you're going to make is learn a bunch of candlestick patterns and then try to trade them. So आपने engulfing सीख लिया, you'll try to buy it. This will not work. Here's what the sequence is. You learn candlestick patterns, you learn price action patterns, then you'll probably learn technical analysis with indicators. Then you should actually move to system trading, build a system, backtest, and then possibly you will have something that you can buy and sell. Please don't just use technical analysis and create buy and sell signals. It won't work. The 3 things are this. 1, you can't use candlestick patterns in isolation. They have to be done in the context of the trend, in context of the actual trading system. If you don't have one, don't trade. Second, your risk to reward ratio is really, really important. If you don't understand how money management and risk reward works, again, you're not ready to trade. And third, always use a higher time frame. You're probably thinking 5 minutes mein kar lunga. I will earn 1,000 rupees every 10 minutes. No, I'm not greedy. I just need 4,000 or 5,000 a day and I'll be happy. Don't think like that. Please choose a high time frame, like a daily, weekly. If you can do monthly, best. But you need to put all these 3 things together. I know you're feeling, I spent all this time in the video, itni mehnat nahi karunga. If you don't want to do so much mehnat, don't trade. Just buy an index fund and earn from there. Learn to invest in the long term. But if you want to trade, mehnat bahut hai. It takes a lot of effort, which is why you should hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit subscribe because we will teach new stuff every single week. We push out 3 videos a week. If you thought this was useful, we could actually make more videos like this, but try to explain different kind of reversal or continuation patterns. If you think that would be useful, tell us in the comments. We don't know what to do next. There's so much to learn in trading, investing, and personal finance. Sometimes we don't know where to start. So I need your help. Tell us in the comments how we're doing. Say something nice to the crew. It takes a lot of time to actually build something like this. I hope you found this useful. See you in the next video. Bye. Oh, okay, there, yeah. अरे कहाँ गया कैमरा? विधि, विधि नहीं विधि.
I didn't use those words. I said tutti frutti. यहाँ पे अच्छा लग रहा है. I just switched थोड़ा.